Hi everyone, welcome to another Lewis Hamilton time trial stream. This is part 8. Makozi Racing International salutes you. And in this part of the Lewis Hamilton time trial series, we're going to be diving into the second track that's in the whole list of circuits that you're able to challenge, and that is Autodromo Lago Maggiore, a racetrack situated in France. So we're going to go ahead and see how Lewis takes his lap, and after that we're going to beat him once again if we can, and then aim for the top 10. You can see here Lewis's fastest lap time is a 1:55.455. We managed to do a 1:55.175, so we've beaten him by about 4/10 previously, and if we want to be in the top 10 we need to do a 54.3, so we're 8/10 off the 10th guy, and we're a second 0.3 off the first driver, PR1 Rosetta, on this top 10 leaderboard. So we're going to go in, we're going to watch his lap, do some analysis of it, then we'll give it everything, and yeah, hopefully it'll go well. You never know, we could even be first in the world. So here's going to be Lewis's lap, just in one go with bumper cam and without any interruptions. So see you in a bit. Okay, so that was Lewis's lap. It was a 55.455, and it was a fairly decent, let's say. I think there's a bit of room that the maestro has let us so that we can actually improve. So now we're going to have a look and see how Lewis has approached his lap. We'll go through his first two corners here. So, I have to restart the lap, there we go. So, approaching the first corner, it's very crucial left-hander. Lewis starts braking after the 100 meter board. So as as you can see over there, about a car length after the 100-meter board, and you want to start putting a lot of pressure on the brakes fairly early on, coming into your braking zone. You see Lewis Hamilton just does exactly that. He's full on the brakes. See, he's keeping very nicely to the right-hand side of the track. And the moment he passes the 50-meter board, that's when he starts turning in. And you can see the moment he puts a bit more input, he's also taking off the brake as well. And around a track like Maggiore, it's very important that you trail brake a lot, because you can't get the best lines if you don't know how to trail brake, and you can see that's him doing it here. So he approaches the apex. He was trail braking. He took off the brake as much as he could while still slowing the car down. And the moment he gets on the apex with the left side of his car, that's when he takes off the brake. For this first left-hander, you want to avoid going on the grass because it's going to throw you off. And you don't want to go too wide either, because this exit of this first left is very crucial so that you can get the next right nicely. So after getting the apex, you can see he's accelerating a little bit, just keeping the engine engaged. Pretty standard stuff when you compare it to the other laps. And the moment he straightens the car up, like he's able to get his car almost parallel to the track, that's when he takes off the acceleration again, starts applying brake once more. So now for this part of the track, or the second corner, it's very difficult hairpin. You don't want to go full brakes. It's very easy to lock up even with ABS on, and that's going to throw your car off wide. So you want to be gentle on the brakes. Nurture your car around this corner, and you can see Lewis, he goes a bit wide here. He gets a very early apex. The way many people get it, and once again this is just an opportunity to improve, is you want to hold the inside. You want your right tires here, you want them to be on this yellow asphalt, because you don't lose any grip whatsoever, and you're not cutting the track at all. As long as your left tires are on the black tarmac, you should be fine. And yeah, you want to keep it in for most of the corner. Once you reach the apex, you can see Lewis just took off the brakes right there. And on your way out, about 3/4 around the corner, you want to be very careful with how much acceleration you're putting on. You can see Lewis, he keeps it in first gear. You could go into second, change earlier, and that way you'll gain a bit more traction from the lower revs. But if first gear is your cup of tea, then go ahead. Then as soon as you feel safe, it's really down to instinct already. There's no actual reference. Until you feel safe that the rear end is not going to lose too much stability, then you can start pushing out. You need to also be aware that if you push too early, too soon, it's a very high chance that you're going to spin out, and that's going to be a lap over before it's even properly started. So through this next sector. So coming out of the exit of this first proper hairpin, you see Lewis's tires are on the left, and you can see the steering input is going to the right, which is good. He's put his car to the maximum of the exit that he could use, and now what you want to do is you want to look for this white line on the right and throw your car, not throw it, place your car as much as you can towards this right line before you turn in on the next left. If you can do that, and if you can go a bit more to the right here than Lewis has, that's going to help your entry a lot more, and then you can cut that upcoming left a bit better, and it just has this big domino effect that really pays dividend once you exit the sector, and you just gain a lot of time in turn. So see, he's not going quite as wide. This is another opportunity for you to improve. See, he's still going full throttle towards the next corner, and somewhere around the point where he passes this kind of Marshall stand or camera stand on the right, that's when he takes off the throttle a little bit, and that's how he gets the car nurtured around the corner without understeering too much. He's still got acceleration on, keeping the engine engaged, and you can see he does this very, very nicely. He gets his inside tire right on this line of asphalt here, and that's very important. You want to do that. If you go too much on the left, it's you can see these lying policemen. They're going to be waiting for you there, and they'll kind of throw you the car off, and you're just going to understeer. So it's really good if you can hold your inside tires on that small strip of asphalt that's inside the curb, but don't cut too much either way. Hi PG, welcome to the stream. And yeah, through this part of the corner, you don't want to accelerate too early, because once again you're going to understeer off, not quite as severely if you were to cut more, but you're still going to be doing it a lot more than you would be if you took off. So you can see Lewis, he goes to the middle of the track. If you can resist the urge to accelerate too early, and if you put your car on the left here, that's going to help you get a wider entry, and in turn you're going to be carrying a bit more speed through that corner, and that's going to set yourself up nicely for the exit of turn 4, I believe. Yes. So you can see Lewis brakes after he's straightened his car up, coming out of turn 3, and he brakes pretty much in a straight line for the most part. So he's got almost reaches full braking capacity. Then he does that for a split second, takes off, and starts trail braking into turn 4. Now turn 4, he takes off the brake before he reaches the apex. This corner has been very well known for people to get the most out of it. So people have been going with left tires on this strip of asphalt, as you can see. It's just on the inside of the curb, and it's just outside this kind of patch of white asphalt that doesn't provide too much grip. You don't want to do that, telling from experience. You want to do it like Lewis has, where your right tires are just on the inside there. You want to make sure that your left tires are, if anything, on the track. The most you could go without losing grip is on these curbs. And once again, you really don't want to be too eager. You want to make sure that you're keeping the engine engaged as much as you can, and try and push out as early as possible. So after you've passed this curb on the inside here, that's your cue for when you can put a bit more confidence in your throttle, and you can start accelerating a bit harder. You can see Lewis is already on full throttle. We already passed that point a while back. Now on the corner exit of turn 4, you don't want to go too wide. You can use the curb for this first part of the exit all the way till here. You can use this kind of second outside curb, but with your right tires, that is. But you do not want your right tires to be on this patch of grass the moment you get off. So you want to be sure that your right tires are at least here on this curb for the exit. If you go on your right tires on this grass with Group 3 cars and this car in it as well, you're going to experience dirty tires for the upcoming right-hander, which is a very, very important corner. And trust me, you don't want to have dirty tires for that next corner. It makes your braking zone a lot longer. It just understeers the car into oblivion, and there's no saving the lap after that, to be fair. So coming out of here, out of turn 4, you want to be very brave. You want to be very careful at the same time. See Lewis, he's just dragging through the gears. I'm going to see how he gets this large right corner now. Okay, so coming towards the corner, you don't want to be on the middle of the road. You want to keep to the left, just like Lewis is doing at the moment. And approaching the corner, you can see he starts turning in already. He's following just the outside of the road, and he brakes about a car length before oh no, let's call that 2 car lengths. 2 car lengths before this curb ends on the left. Usually in Group 3 cars you would be able to, with BOP on, you would be able to brake a bit later, and I suspect that you could do the same with this, so maybe risk it. You can gain a lot of time with late braking in this car specifically, but if you brake too late, there's going to be that menacing grass on the outside, and that AstroTurf, or the cement that's on the left as well, really doesn't have any abundance of grip whatsoever. So you want to make sure that you brake late, but not too late so that you're carrying too much speed. You see, Lewis gets on the brakes and he doesn't put in full input. He's got it around 75-80% of the brake, and once again it just shows how crucial it is to know how to trail brake around here. He trail brakes, he goes out, he keeps to the left a bit, he starts cutting in later into the turn-in of the corner. So he's trying to go for a more wider entry, faster and closer exit, so he can carry more speed and gain more on the kind of small straight section that follows. So he's still trail braking. He actually takes off before he reaches the apex, and he stays in 3rd gear. He doesn't accelerate just yet because the car is still kind of slowing down for him. He didn't get it perfectly. The most you could cut here, the most you could put your car on, is if you go with your right tires once again on this small slab of grey concrete that's on the inside of the curb. That's the most you can go with the right tires. And at Maggiore, I'm just going to leave this as a general note. You can go, if you are on fast corners, usually every single time you approach one, you want to make sure that your right tires are going on that little slab of concrete that's on the inside of the curb. That's generally a no-brainer. No-brainer piece of advice. So if you're looking to be fast here, always look out for that. If you're going wider than that and you're missing it with your inside right tires, that means that you've either carried too much speed into the corner, you haven't slowed down enough, or you just simply understeered, so you have to turn in earlier. So you can see after he passes the apex, he starts accelerating uphill. 3rd gear. Since it's uphill, there's more traction on the car, the rear end, so you can push out earlier. And you can see Lewis has been a bit conservative with the exit. He hasn't gone quite as wide. You can go wide, but it can work with some cars. It doesn't gain too much time with others. You gain more time actually if you do what Lewis has done here, take the conservative line. If you hold the inside, the change in distance that you have to cover on this track is a lot greater, so you don't lose as much speed as you were gaining time. So if you can hold it on the inside right here, that's when you're going to gain a lot of time on your lap. See, that's what Lewis does. Here on this next right, which is turn 6, it's a very shallow corner, you want to make sure that your right tires are either on the track like Lewis has done, or the inside rights are on this white curb. You don't want to have it on the grass because that's going to scrub off some speed. But once again, it's really just thousandths that are coming into question with a small change of the line. So through this next section, I'm going to go to the main straight. Okay, so coming to this section, Lewis gets on the brakes right before his car meets this asphalt on the right. This is if you kind of look at this in bumper cam, which is somewhere like around here, it's just before you reach this, and that's a very good braking reference for this part of the track. So he takes off and he puts the brakes on, and yet again this shows how important it is to trail brake. You can see he never goes on full brake input. The only time he did that was at the first corner. So he entered in fourth, he dropped down to third. Before he reaches the apex, he takes off the acceleration, the brake, my apologies. Now, remember how I said that it was a general rule that you have to keep the inside left? This is the part of the track where that rule doesn't mean anything, at least if you want to drive fast. If you want to keep within the rules and conform to the standards that we would see in real life, you just keep doing that. Make sure that your left tires are touching this slab of concrete that's on the inside of the curb. That's fine. However, if you want to gain more time, you want the inside left tires to go on this kind of patterned asphalt on the left that's got some grass on it. You don't lose grip from experience, and it's just another way of shortening the distance and gaining time. So you do that for the left. You want to hold the left a little bit more than Lewis has in this case, so you can get the right better, but this is fine as well. It's just another bit of room that lets the driver improve and hopefully beat Lewis if you guys haven't attempted this challenge yet. So coming to this right-hander, you'll see once again Lewis gets it exactly how you would be doing it in real life. However, if you go with your left tires on this slab here, on the concrete slab, you're going to be going a lot faster. I don't mean in speed, I mean you're going to be shortening the line, you're going to be straightening it up, and you're going to be able to put your car more to the right over there so you can get the next left better. Bonjour party pri. Welcome. You see, you want to really be fine with your throttle input. You don't want to have it on full throttle. You want to have it off at about 50% until you pass the exit of this right hander. The moment you pass that, that's when you can really push a bit more. But if anything, it's just for a split second. You can see Lewis, he puts the throttle on. He's probably going to change into fourth gear. That's probably a wise decision to do. But you see, he doesn't. Oh, there he does. Never mind. So he does that decision. He does it right. And again, Lewis is going exactly how you would expect to see it in real life. And this is once again another example of where you can just throw away that general rule of how you need to approach a corner here at Maggiore. You can put your left tires on this white bit of asphalt. These line policemen are not going to throw you off quite as much as you will be gaining time. And even if your inside tire goes on the grass there, it's fine. You're not going to be losing any grip on the outside tires, and around fast corners like here in this section, your outside tire grip is far more important than the inside. So you're not going to lose any speed whatsoever. And once you pass that left-hander, you should be able to go full throttle. If you're going full throttle and you go out wide here with your right tires, if you go on the grass, that means you're not doing something right. You've either you accelerated too early, coming out of the previous right, and therefore you couldn't set yourself up better for the left, or you haven't turned in early enough, and your car's just starting to understeer a bit too much. If your left tires are on the curb, and they just missed the grass, that means you're doing great, doing a very good lap so far. And now through this next section, it's pretty much flat out. You can put your car over the yellow sausage curb here, but I would advise against, just play it safe. Keep it on this grey slab of concrete that's on the inside of the curb once again, and yeah, you should be fine. On this part, the final right of this sector, before coming on the straight, you can put your right tires on the inside of the curb. That's going to keep your car in a bit better, and you're not going to have to be afraid of understeering wide off the track. And once again, if you can't go full throttle through here, it's going to hurt your exit, and it means that you haven't gotten the sequence of corners properly. If you can do this and go full throttle through this last part of the section, you've done very well. If you can get that all together in one lap, that means you're doing great. Also on the exit there, you don't want to go on the grass at all. You run the risk of hitting the wall and just taking off speed. Possibly even spinning out if you hit it hard enough, which, God forbid, you don't want that to happen. So coming into the famed hairpin of Lago Maggiore. There's the steeped, banked hairpin of Maggiore. It's a very well-known corner in Gran Turismo Sport. Many drivers find it quite challenging to get it right. We'll see how the Maestro did it this time. So, Lewis brakes when he reaches this digital flag sign. This is where you would see it's a black square or black box, as you would see in the game, but it lights up when you have different flag occasions, like a yellow flag or green flag after an incident is cleared, or a blue flag if you're overlapping someone or you're being overlapped. So you need to keep this in mind. You need to start braking around this point, coming into the very steep uphill hairpin. And you want to start turning in after your car has passed this curb on the left. If you turn in too early, there's a good chance you're going to understeer on the exit and you're going to meet that very, very tiresome gravel trap on the outside. That's going to really put an end to the hopes of a fast lap. So yeah, start turning in after this curb here, after you've passed it, about half a car length or so. As you're braking, you want to be on full brake, but then after you've passed that curb, you want to take off the brake a little bit and really engage in trail braking. Use all the bank that you can. You'll feel like the car has a bit more grip than usual, and you shouldn't let that scare you, because it means that that just simply means the car is pushing more on the ground onto the track, more firmly with more of the surface of the tires, and that means that you're actually able to push more. For the apex of the hairpin, once again, you want your right tires to be on this grey slab of concrete. That's your go-to marker. You can cut more, and you can be faster. So that's also another place where you can improve upon the Maestro's lap. You're at Autodromo Lago Maggiore. So he's still braking, and after he's reached the apex, then he takes off the brake. And I'd say once your rear end of the car, the rear end of the car reaches the end of this white curb here, that's when you can accelerate more. That's when you can really put a lot of more trust in the acceleration and push out, because in general you'll feel kind of scared, but you need to fight that fear of going off wide if you want to get a good lap here. And yeah, left tires, this is really a no-brainer. You don't want your left tires going on the gravel. You want it to keep it on the very edge of this curb. You could even use, you can see what is left of this bit of AstroTurf, but I wouldn't risk it. Keep your left tires on the curb and you'll be fine. It's coming into the fast left-right hander. So exiting the famed hairpin, you want to put your car as much as you can to the right, just as Lewis has done here. This is pretty much surgical precision. You can see how close he is to the edge of the track. And the moment you reach the curb, that's your cue to start turning in towards the left. You can see Lewis, he takes off. That's a good idea, considering there's no BOP on this car. And also another place where you can improve is putting the left tires here on the inside curb. That's going to shorten the distance, and if anything, it can even keep your car more to the left so you can get the next right better. So you want to hold it to the left so you can maximize your entry to the right and not understeer into the barrier. And yeah, it's pretty much flat out. You can cut a bit of the track on the inside here. You'll see just as Lewis, he really on the fine line here, This tyre just touches the grass, it's front right, and that's kind of the limit, the start of the limit of what you can do on this corner. So yeah, full throttle. Want to make sure that your left tires go, if anything, to the left of this, to be on this curb. If you go on the grass, you're going to be losing speed, you're going to have a chance of hitting the wall, and that's going to ruin your lap. It's coming to this double right and left. I'll play through that as well. Okay, so after passing this fast right, you want to set yourself up for the second to last sequence of corners, and Lewis's break point is after he passes the scaffolding on the right, or about several car lengths after passing this marshal's post on the left. So the choice is really yours. There's not an actual reference that you can find on your screen per se to where to brake. It's I don't know what to say about this one. This is really a lot of try and fail, succeeding and seeing what works, what doesn't. If you brake too late, you're going to be going hot into that first right-hander, and there's a good chance you're going to go off wide. If you brake too early, you're going to clip too much of the inside, and you're going to have dirty tires for the next corner. So yeah, braking somewhat like 25 meters before the 50 meter mark, so 75 meters, that's a good point to start braking. And yeah, being very considerate towards your braking input. Once again, a lot of trail braking on this corner. See Lewis, when he reaches the apex, he takes off the brakes. That's pretty standard in these Lewis Hamilton time trial laps by him. And again, you want your right tires to be right on the edge of this concrete that's on the inside of the curb. You can use this as well, this patterned pavement, this pattern of concrete that's filled with grass, because you don't lose any outside grip, so that's safe as well. But don't cut too much, it's going to throw your car off balance, and it's going to really compromise the next half of the section. So yeah, after you pass the apex, you want to accelerate a little bit, not too much, and you want your left tires at most to not go on this grass on the left, but to go on this curb here. If you're going with your left tires on this curb here and you're carrying pretty much decent speed, that means you've done a very good job in the corner before that. You've accelerated early enough, but not too early to understeer onto the grass, and you've turned enough to have the line to be able to do that. And that's where you can gain a 10th on both the exit of this corner and the entry of the next one. You definitely want to avoid the grass there coming in on the left. Lewis brakes right after his rear end passes the end of this curb on the left hand when this starts. It's kind of concrete curb as well. Once again, trail braking. You want your right tire to be right on the inside of the lip of the curb, once again on that grey piece of concrete. You want to be very considerate towards your steering input and as well as your acceleration, because if you accelerate too early, you're going to go off wide and it's going to throw you off through the next corner. You're not going to be able to hold the inside. Yeah, for the next inside, you want to hold as much as the left as you can. Keep a really sharp inside line. Once again, your left tire, your inside tire wants to be on that slab of concrete inside the curb. If you have to take off on the exit, that means that you've done something wrong. If you don't, that means that you're doing just fine. And yeah, you've made it through the last section of the second last section of the track, so well done. So now coming to the last corner. So this last corner, Lewis brakes somewhere around the 50-meter mark, a little bit before that, as you can see there on the top right hand of the screen. That's once you see that disappear from your screen, if you're using bumper cam, that's a good time to start braking. If you still see it, but it's quickly approaching the edge of your screen while on chase cam, that's also another sign to start braking as well. And the moment you reach the end of this curb on the right, that's when you start turning in. Again, this corner is very trail braking dependent, so you want to be very careful with your brakes. Don't push too much because you're going to lock up and go straight off there and understeer off track, and that's going to be the end of a very good lap that you were on. And yeah, just be really careful. Take off the brake the moment you get on this inside curb. You can use a lot more with your left hand side. So your left tires, instead of being here on this first part of the curb, that's this one, you can actually put them on the asphalt here. So long as your right tires are still on the curb, and you'll be fine. You won't lose any grip, and you'll be able to hold the inside a bit better. Once again, be cautious with how much you accelerate on the corner exit. Accelerate too early, and let's just see how Lewis did it this time. If you accelerate too early and you go just on the grass, like Lewis almost did, you're going to experience a sudden jolt of understeer, and that's going to be very hard to catch without having to take off the acceleration. So you're most likely going to go over the grass after this part of the track, and you could hit the wall. So watch out for that. Don't go too wide, don't accelerate too early. And yeah, the most you want to have on the exit is your right tires on this curb, like that, like so. Don't go off wide. You could either spin out or you could hit the wall. And that is Lewis's lap and our in-depth analysis of how you should reach Autodromo Lago Maggiore. So now we're going to try and beat his time again. I think it should be quite easy, and then we'll see if we can get into the top 10. Brake balance, you want to have it on 0 or +1. Oh, and there I go, I made my first mistake. Didn't brake hard enough. I'm being very conservative on this lap. I haven't driven on this layout of the track in a while. So that's why Lewis is catching up in some places. See, I didn't take off, so I had to take off there. Now I'm losing a lot of time. So there we go.
No way. How did you do that?
So we beat Lewis on our first proper lap. Okay, it wasn't our first try, but it was our first lap. And now we're going to try and improve a lot more to get into the top 10. Need to improve quite a bit, if I'm being honest. Oh. I'm going to take off here slightly. So we still hit the wall, so something's wrong. We didn't take off enough. We didn't line up nicely to get that fast right better. No. So there we go, improved by
No
half
way.
tenth.
How did you do that?
And we're not far off the top 10. That wasn't too bad of a lap, but I think there's plenty more time to find. How far away are we? So yeah, we're 2/10 off the top 10, so we can definitely do it. Yeah, if we just iron out some mistakes, we're right there. We're knocking on the door of top 10. Yep, so we did it.
No way. How did you do that?
Yeah, just followed your lap, Lewis, and now we are in the top 10 in the world for the Lewis Hamilton Time Trial Challenge. That wasn't a bad lap, and there's definitely a bit more in it, for sure. But so far we are 6th, so I'm going to give it a bit more. I want to be at least 3rd. So we need to beat PR1 Fire, and that means we're going to have to find another 10th and a half. Definitely possible. Merci beaucoup, Paddy, please. Right. Yeah. So we cut in too early on that shallow right, on the shallow left, and that's why we lost out. We lost out quite a bit there now, so we're going to restart that. Alright, sorry about this, guys. It's very hard to get the first left right. It's a very fine line of getting it too early, too late. Usually if you want to be faster, you want to get it break late. Didn't push enough. That's bad. We need to be in front. We need to be in front by a whole car length. no. See, we keep messing that up. So we'll try that again. Definitely can do better. Now that was better. A lot better. I want to change a bit earlier here, 250. Yep, there we go. Ah, we clipped the grass, the gravel. That sure is annoying. We're doing very well. I don't know about that PG, it throws the car off. I wouldn't say that's faster. Like, I've tried it and I know. So. No. We're getting there. We can do it. Just need to put it together. Yeah, I know. I know exactly which one you're talking about, PG. Not doing too bad right now. Yeah, you're probably meaning this right-hander. Oh my word. No. You're braking too late to the hairpin now. that was good. That was very good. Very good indeed. Yeah, that's better. Oof, that was good.
No way. How did you do that?
Yeah, so we lost a bit of time in the double right. I don't think I got it early enough, but that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad at all. With a bit more practice and a bit more time on our hands, we could get 53 if we tried even more. So let's see where we are in the world. There you go, we're third in the world. We're 3.5 tenths off Rosetta, and we're less than a tenth off Tiara Adam. Those two guys are rapid on a single lap. So I'm going to be honest, guys, that wasn't too bad, and we just fitted this all in under an hour. So we've reached our target of a top 10, and for me, I've reached my target of at least getting a top 5. So that's a very good time for now. Maybe in my free time I'll go and I'll try that a bit more. Never know, I might even reach first. That's got to be a really good lap. Yeah, 53 would be possible in my opinion, for sure. So yeah, I'm gonna start ending it there, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm gonna just see what car I get now for the daily workout. And an Aston Martin Vantage V12 Group 3 car. So that's nice. Already have one, but thank you anyway, Gran Turismo. I always love these free cars. So yeah, that's going to be it for me, guys. I hope you all got some sort of suggestion, or maybe my in-depth analysis helped you with how you should go about doing this time trial. And yeah, I hope for all of you that have gotten the Lewis Hamilton Time Trial Challenge DLC, I wish you all the best at Maggiore. I wish you all the best at the upcoming time trials. And yeah, the next episode is going to be at my home circuit, Mount Panorama or Bathurst. So that's going to be an interesting one for sure. We're going to see how well we do there. And then after that, it's going to be into Lagos, and to round it all off, we're going to be driving the Sauber C9 at the Nordschleife, and that's like last time I said, that's going to be the icing on the cake of the time trial challenges. That one is a doozy from previously. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for the support. Catch you all next time. Till then, have a good one, and yeah. Driving with the best.